How would you feel if you woke up right now and the last 10 years of your life were a dream? Actually, I would be psyched. I've lost my long-term relationship, have had to battle through cancer, lost my leg, and had to drop out of college all in the last 5 years. So I would be totally happy if I got the chance to never have to experience a minute of any of those things. Duck. I'd literally just be getting over my 21st birthday hangover. I'd still be in college. I'd be 50 pounds lighter. Fuck. That would be hard. I'd be grieving for a lot of things that happened in the dream that weren't real. But man, I'd be so ducking glad to get a shot to replay the last decade. And my 21st birthday is a hell of a save point. This blew up. And I forgot the most important thing. The whole Obama administration has yet to happen yet. He's been elected, but not yet inaugurated. That's a really interesting thing to relive in a parallel universe, especially for a budding freelance political consultant like me. Honestly, I'd probably go back to sleep. Number 10-year-olds allowed in this thread. I'd be weirded out. I'd get to see my mom again. Focus more on what I actually wanna major in, and make better choices. I didn't expect this comment to get such a response. I'm glad I'm not the only one who had this feeling. Thanks for the silver. 2. My first Reddit gold. Thank you so much. Relieved. And probably crying. I am 10 years younger. My mom is still alive. I know a little better what I want and don't want to do with my life. My body had 10 years less physical wear and tear on it. I would be ducking ecstatic. 10 years to the day, I'd have less than a week before heading off to basic training. No thank you. That feeling of despair as the dream inevitability slips out of the grasp of my mind. Everything I've learned, every person I have loved, every hurt I've learned from. I would be devastated. I am currently on the cusp of getting married, and I'm so happy about the direction my life has been taking me the last 5 years. It would suck to find out this is all a dream. I was in a coma for 2.5 months with extremely vivid dreams. This is a fear I had daily. Update. Just woke up and this blew up. A bit of backstory is needed, I suppose. I was 13 and my appendix burst. It was so bad that the DR said when they went in to remove what was left they realized that the procedure was pointless because there was nothing left of it to remove. I went into septic shock, so they had to flush me of toxins. Then my organs began swelling and I almost had complete organ failure. My core temperature shot up to 106°F from the infections. I survived with a few small scars on my stomach and sizable chunks of my memory before that point wiped. The dreaming during that time was random and ever shifting from one dream to the next. I would at times become lucid and realize I'd been dreaming for far too long and questioned if I were even alive. When my temperature spiked, they put an ice blanket on me to help combat it. In my dream world I could feel it and everything froze like in the day after tomorrow. That was 17 years ago and it's almost a daily thought. What if all of this is a dream? My progress and achievements, my wife and kids, all just products of my imagination trying to cope with being severed from the real world. If it were true that all of this were a dream, I pray every day I never wake up to what reality really is. I'm too invested in this one. Update 2. Seen a few questions asking me about my dreams. Look up indie film called Waking Life. It has a similar feel to how the dreams were, minus the philosophy and add a bunch of weird stuff. People trying to kill me. A pig beast with scissor hands tying me under a press to be crushed, only for right before it crushes me someone yells cut and a stage crew unties me and I walk off stage and into another dream and a dream of being at my uncle's house searching for Mountain Dew. A recurring theme. When everything gets frozen like the temp dropped to 20°F and when I touched my cousin's frozen hand her fingers began snapping off. My mind was ducked for a while after waking up. Update 3. My first gold. Thank you mysterious internet and possibly dream person. Absolutely ducking crushed. Or, wait, hopeful? 10 years ago, I was dating a girl. It was very early in our relationship, but things seem pretty nice. I work in a job I hate, but it pays the bills. I live alone in a fairly depressing apartment, and drink way too much. That girl and I are married now. We've got an awesome 4-year-old daughter. I've got what amounts to a dream job. a house, 2 dogs. Pretty damn good life. The kind of life that you feel like you somehow pulled off a heist to get. And someday everyone's going to catch on and you'll suddenly be jolted awake only to find out that the last 10 years was a dream. I'd be relieved at the chance to make different choices, but the reality that my kids wouldn't exist would break me. I could avoid lots of bad choices. The number of people who think this nightmare is what the future will be when they wake up is too high. The title says if this was a dream, why would your unconscious strange predictions about your life be at all accurate? Trump is president FFS. I'd be so ducking happy OMG. Depends if I'm still locked up. Confused and concerned at first, but then relieved. Well, I'd be 18 again. So probably happy at first, but then, considering that I wouldn't have bought my house, or got those promotions that I've worked so hard to get, or most importantly the woman who I fell in love with at first sight, truly the blessing that I didn't deserve and who makes me immeasurably happy, would have been just a dream, I'd be devastated. Forget the house. Forget the job. If I lost my wife, I'd stay in bed, forever hoping I'd fall asleep and dream of her again. I'm not trying to be dramatic. I just really love my life and I'm happy with the life we've built together. So, yeah. Pretty pissed. I'm not thrilled with the current state of my life. But this isn't a if you could go back in time, would you situation. You might avoid some mistakes. But every you experience thus far was a dream. There's no guarantee you'd hit the same decision points you did before. You could walk out the house, 10 years younger, and be hit by a car. Dude, I'd have my older brother back, my grandfather back, my great grandmother back. I'd be able to get over all the crying and heartache I got from relationships being broken. But most of all, I'd have family back, and that's really the one thing I want most of all. I'm 15 again. Time to fix some mistakes and use what I learned from the dream on real life. Also time to win bets. Oh, you must check out Croatia. They may feel weak now, but in 10 years they'll give us a football lesson we'll never forget. No, that'd be awful. I'd be 24 again and would miss my young children, 0, 2, and 4 years old, terribly. I'm currently spending 3 weeks off work playing with the older 2 endlessly while their mother wrestles the cutest one every night. I'd be living with strangers in a flat share and not this family house I bought and am in the process of getting expanded and improved. I'd be at the bottom of my, then new, career track. I'm not sure I want to go through 10 years of that again. It wasn't easy, and much of it wasn't fun. It's one thing dealing with new and evolving problems. But if I had to retrace my steps, though the exact same problems, might choose to do something else. I'm pretty comfortable with where I am now. My dad would be alive. I would quit college instead of racking up student loan debt. I could start investing my disposable income instead of thinking I had to spend all of my paychecks. Yay. Let's do this. I'd be thrilled. No cancer. No car hitting me while I was bicycling and destroying my spine, face, etc. Number 19 court battles over custody of my son. I'd still be optimistic about the future. I could live without constant pain. I'd be so happy. I've been stuck in my ways for the last 10 years. Problems with school, girls, work. I feel I wasted so much time making the wrong decisions. If it was just a very lucid dream, I could take it as an experiment of what could happen. I could take lessons from it and try a different path this time. I'd kill myself. I got so far in these 10 years. Please don't take it away. Somewhat comforted. My last 10 years wasn't bad enough that I wish to reset every day, but it'd be nice to do it again. I wrote a short story where this guy finds a little girl lost at sea and raises her as a daughter, living an entire life only to wake up from a coma and discover the girl had never existed. He's pretty devastated and feels robbed of a whole life. I'm very happy with where I am in life right now, so I'd imagine I'd feel similarly robbed. Well, son of a bitch, I'd be living back with my narcissist mother. I'd be relieved. Sun damage is not a joke. Wear sunscreen and layers, and really, just stay out of the sun. Become a vampire early in life so you never look older than 25. Excited to be 15 again. Dump my crush. Develop a personality to make my own decisions rather than following the crowd. Make a fortune out of dozens of ideas of easy to recreate products like social media apps. I duck and cry and try reliving that dream. The amount of bullet I went through to be who I am today. Be with my friends I have today. All the memories and experiences I've created for myself. All gone? Nope. I'm happy where I am right now. I have many regrets. I've lost many opportunities, but my friends, the people I know, the things I've had to teach myself and learn on my own, no one, no thing is going to take that away from me. This is kind of a double-edged sword for me. The happiest thing would be to wake up and see my dog once again. I miss him so much. The negative side would be waking up to one of the hardest times of my life. Battling through depression in an environment that's mentally abusive. All in all, I believe that I could make a better life for myself with all the knowledge I would have gained. Even if it means, potentially, reliving the hardest years of my life. I would duck and cry for 10 hours straight, since I'm 13. At this point, unsurprised. So everything that ever exists in the past 10 years is my dream? Damn, I created the MCU. Oh god. Nah, the last 10 years has been a bit brutal, but I'm coming out of the other side now, so, no thanks. That would be nice. I'd feel relieved. That would be my personal dream. Last 10 years have been a nightmare, and Christmas time likes to rub that into your eyes. Considering I'm happily married, have a great pupper, and I'm at a point where I'm no longer wanting to die or thinking about killing myself every other minute. The shock of being back to that time where I don't even know my husband and won't for another 4 years would probably make me jump off the highest building I could find. Can we make it 12 years so I have the chance to do things right with my now wife back when we first dated? Honestly would be pissed. BC, I'm 6 credits away to graduate college with an engineering degree. I wouldn't want to put my body through that again. Initially I would be devastated since I was heavily bullied up until 10 years ago, but it would be relieving to have the foresight, or rather knowledge, to avoid certain types of toxic people and choices that would have been better for my mental health. I think it would also explain some of the odd life choices I have made so far. My life is currently at its highest peak. Waking up knowing it was a dream would be half relieving. I would immediately dump my piece of it ex and not go back to letting too many drugs and alcohol almost ruin my life. Be my own person, and duck worrying too much. I would then immediately seek out my current fiancé and cruise. I'd be on the same track, but would be right at the point before things got better for me. It would suck to go to that point, but I'd have my girlfriend, now wife, and it's a ride worth taking twice. Especially if it means that I'd get 10 extra years with her. Thank you, sweet merciful deities. Very, very sad and empty. I would be losing my husband of 6 years and 3-year-old son. Also my successful career and knowing true love. And I would probably regret every time I wished things were different. I would definitely kill myself. Can this please happen to me? I will miss my kids, but I need a do-over. Conflicted. There's a lot of things that I would do differently, but I love my family. Crushed. Absolutely devastated. The past 6 or so years of my life have been the best thing to ever happen to me. Work is amazing. My friends and family are amazing. Music is amazing. Life is amazing. 10 years puts me a few years before my mother died. It leaves my uncles in the family, and several grandparents alive. It's before my panic attacks and attempts at self-harm and my back injury. It's before I blew off a lot of my closest friends, too. But it's also when my depression really ramped up. It's when I was bullied to the point of physical illness. It's before I had a social group I could count on. It's before I learned piano and how to be a leader. It's before I met my stepsister and stepmother. I think that I would probably be distraught for a while. But assuming things don't happen in exactly the same way, I can't say I would stay so unhappy. Despite all the good that's happened to me, 10 years ago probably was better, if not psychologically, at least physically. The positive things I've gained since then are largely things I could recreate: friend groups, talents, while the positive things I've lost are irreplaceable. If it was the last 13 years, I'm totally down. I'd be able to save my friend from killing himself, and I'd probably kick ass at college redux. Last 10 years of my life? A dream? Hahaha. More like a nightmare, less than. Be depressed that I would have to relive high school all over again. Wouldn't be that sad, honestly. I can get a do-over of the mess that occurred in high school and college. I would be okay with it. Plenty of things that I regret doing, not doing. I'm 13, so I guess I would be a 3-year and probably just start doing toddler stuff. I would rejoice and sing due to the second chance of being able to do it right this time. Good, because I'd know that staying at work for the extra years wasn't worth it and I'd retire sooner. I would get to see my father alive again and avoid crippling depression. So, good to say the least. Invest in Bitcoin. At the age of 7, mind you, but whatever. Alone. The most important person to me is only 4 years old. Without him I don't have anything in my life that makes it feel worth living. I would do everything in my power to go back into the dream. And if I could not, I would tell my family I was moving away, drive a few states away, walk far out into the woods, and put a bullet in my head. Happy. I want to redo things and not waste all my school years being an antisocial introvert. Absolutely over the moon with happiness. I kinda literally just did. Was diagnosed 10 years ago with dilated cardiomyopathy and life sucked for a decade. Woke up on the 27th of November after a heart transplant and could breathe again, walk again, will soon run again. It feels like the last 10 years were in fact a nightmare, but now I'm a new man with the capability to live life again. So to tell you how I feel in one word: incredible. Go back to being a 5-year-old would be weird. Try my best to remember tips from our Wall Street bets and YOLO correctly. Great. I would use the social skills to make friends in school and prevent getting bullied. I would actually have more than a friend from high school. Prepare for the barrage of "I wasn't born yet" comments. I would be so pissed. I'd be 16 and just goofing around, which was definitely fun at the time. But I've spent the last 10 years studying, serving, working, and pushing myself to get where I am today. Currently in dental school at my dream school, preparing to become a surgeon. I have an incredible wife and 2 beautiful children and have learned so much. I hope to make the next 10 years as important to me as the last 10. I would be thrilled. I would travel, get job in multiple fields, retrain myself, start a business, save money, and when I was good and ready, get married and have kids. Not the other way around. Well, on one hand, I would get my legs back and avoid the poison relationship that'll just be starting at that point. On the other, wiping out that relationship would prevent the most important person in my life from being born. Considering that getting my daughter born again would require an impossible degree of exactly perfect reliving of that decade, and sleeping with my ex simply won't work anyway. Due to my entire being rejecting her, I'll just stay put, thanks. Bad things have happened to me. Terrible, awful things no one should suffer. I would love to have a normal body again, with the ability that comes with. It would be nice to be invisible to everyone again too. Simple fact remains that undoing that past undoes my daughter. I cannot abide that outcome. The suffering I went through helped me become a better father too. More patient, more understanding, more empathetic. To wake up a decade ago would cause me to at first be confused, then extremely happy with my legs. Then when the realization hits, I would be devastated for the rest of my life. Really sucks to see all the top replies about being relieved or something to that effect. I'd be absolutely devastated. I'd be 17 again and there is no way I'd believe I could ever do what I actually achieved. I was bouncing from home to home, had no friends, lived in a city full of hate, and college was for people with money. There's so many things I'm so proud of and ashamed of, but that's life. I worked hard and it's paid off big time. Most recently, I started a successful business and bought a beautiful engagement ring for a wonderful woman who is my best friend. Life has been good. That would be more than half of my life, so that would be kinda itty to relive it all over again. Oh boy, I'm going to play my D's light catch you on PictoChat. What? I would be so happy. I'm in my freshman year of high school right now and I'm not doing super great in my classes. B's and C's. I don't have a ton of friends and my family tends to ignore me. 10 years ago I was in a perfect private school and I was very smart for my age. I had a couple best friends in my small class of 8. Fast forward to 3rd grade and I had a bunch of friends and I was so happy with everything was going. I was super quick to the sciences and was already doing long division. That summer the school shut down and I was sent to another school. That started me off at 4th grade doing normal math. So I was like 2 years behind. Ever since then I've been moderately unhappy with the way things have been going. Feels bad, man.